And if it ever happens that I'm with you the previous night, then I wake up in the morning in your bed and naked, nah, trust me, I'm believing everything I think of. I believe anything I think of because why am I naked? I didn't take my clothes off. If you take my clothes off, it means you did something to me. Into some more updates, Bill Cosby will be ordered to pay $19 million by a woman named Donna Martina. Yes, she alleges that she was RAPED. And it said back in 1972 while working at a hotel as a waitress, where Bill Cosby picked her up before an event and allegedly drugged and I said how. So this all been going on for years. Bill Cosby was really a big superstar when it comes to comedy. All this is happening close to 6 decades later, and there's been a series of women coming up and claiming Bill Cosby they said them, did this, did that to them. This is what I will say. This is what I always say. Before I even go deep into the video, this is what I always say. When you're up there at your peak, where you feel like you can do anything you want, anything you wish, without having to face any consequences, simply because you're up the food chain, and which means you control like most of the narratives around you. You control like everything around you, which and by so doing, you won't see, or the public won't see any of these things. Such things come to light. You get your attorneys, you get your legal team, your people, your those close people to call such victims and talk to them and say, hey, I know this and this probably happened and we want to settle out of court, so what do we do? You know? But now what happens when you are no longer up the food chain? What happens when you are not part of the power players anymore? How do you protect yourself? Now, this is what happens exactly. This is what happens. The victims start coming out and they say, hey, he did this and this and this and this and this. I tried getting justice back in the day. I didn't get justice. I want it now. I want justice now. So, a jury in California has ordered Bill Cosby to pay $19 million, which is roughly 14.3 million euros, in damages to a former waitress after finding he drugged and essayed her while taking her to one of his shows. Remember, he was a big of a comedian more than 5 decades, close to 6 decades ago, actually. It was in 1972. So Donna Martina said the former star gave her wine and a pill that left her incapacitated after picking her up at her home on, in a limousine in 1972. You can imagine, you see, I won't go there. So Cosby, now who is now 88 years old, has denied Martina's allegations along with similar claims in a string of civil and criminal cases filed by dozens of women. Ever since then, he was freed from prison in Pennsylvania in 2021, where he was serving nearly 3 years into a sentence, and for essay after his conviction was thrown out on technicalities. Yeah. Can you give me those special calls you make? Yeah. So Cosby's lawyer Jennifer Bourgeon told U.S. media her client will appeal against Monday's verdict. So I guess we are waiting for the appeal. The jury in the Santa Monica case could award even more in punitive damages that they have yet to determine. So she is seeking more. Remember, she just got $19 million, which is around 14.3 million euros, and she's still seeking more. This is what happens when you have like a strong legal team that believes and trusts that they can get to whichever length you want to go with your case. So she alleges in her lawsuit that Cosby invited her to one of his stand-up comedy shows, and after picking her up to drive her to the gig, she gave her a pill that she thought was aspirin. What are you taking a pill for? Are you sick? Why are you taking aspirin? Now, sometimes I have to ask questions. No, I know she knew the pill was not aspirin. For sure, I know she knew the pill was not aspirin. I'm just saying, We all know aspirin, right? We all know aspirin. And if you're not sick, why are you taking the pill? Why are you forced? If you're just given the pill, why could you not take the pill? You could have pretended and put the pill in your butt, but you were excited with in the moment. Yeah, I'm with a superstar. I'm with a man with the money. You take the pill, then later find yourself in a bed, naked, with drawers only, and you assume, okay, she alleged she just the Cosby's team was arguing. The victim only believes that she was assailed, but has no concrete evidence. This is just something she believes happened because she woke up in her drawers. We have to be very cautious. We need to be cautious with everything that happens because, listen, if you're going to a show, you are a waitress, right? You are a waitress at a certain hotel. Some other person comes and picks you up and takes you to a different venue. Before you break there, they give you a pill. Hey, take this pill. You assume it's aspirin. Why are you taking the pill when you're not sick? You are on duty, which means you are okay. You are not sick. So why are you taking the pill? Why are you taking the pill? Why are you taking the pill? So Cosby's lawyers rejected the allegations, arguing in court filings that Motinga freely admits that she has no idea what happened. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. She woke up, saw herself naked in drawers, and assumed something had happened. But in this case, I look at it from this angle. If if it ever happens that I'm with you the previous night, then I wake up in the morning in your bed and naked, nah, trust me, I'm believing everything I think of. I believe anything I think of because why am I naked? I didn't take my clothes off. If you take my clothes off, it means you did something to me. You essayed me. Yeah, why are you taking my clothes off? That's like invading my privacy. So the comedian enjoyed good fame, back in the 80s and 90s with his sitcom The Cosby Show, for those who watch. But his reputation has or was shattered after dozens of women came forward with allegations of APE, SH, and misconduct, sexual misconduct from as early as the 1960s. He has maintained all the encounters were consensual. This is what happens with all superstars, when you are at your peak in your career, all the women want to be with you, you want to be with all the women. You have the money, you have the resources to take care of the bills, You can go anywhere, you can fly private, you can fly all the girls you want private to whichever destination you want them to be at. But then you have to reflect. Listen, I always, there's a video I did about Dirk, even before he got arrested. Even listen, even I did a video about Diddy before he also got arrested. This thing just happened, man. So I said this: if you do something and you feel like there's going to be a time where you will face questions or scrutiny, public scrutiny over that action, then don't do it. Don't do it because the public never forgets. And they always keep records. You see all this, especially with the females, issues with the females. These are cases that happened close to 60 years ago. And we are seeing a verdict being passed in 2026, close to 60 years later. If someone ever wanted to get money or finance money out of you, they can stick to the same argument for as long as they can, long as they're still alive. Long as they stay alive, they will continue arguing until they get their own share of your money. So it all depends with the next victims' verdicts. Because if more and more continue coming out and claiming this and this and this happened or whatever. So the same case with Diddy, we just witnessed or what happened. Once the cases once the allegations came out, more and more victims poured out, and filed more lawsuits against him. So this is what happens with the justice system. My name is Moses K. E, and God bless you.